Okay, well, looks like we might be online, hopefully. Excuse me, jeez.
Cancelled.
Yeah, now we're at an angle. Oh, let's straighten it up. I'm still at an angle, but it's a better angle. Yeah, welcome to Random Thoughts with Proteus Chris. This is Proteus Chris, and this is some random thoughts on the road. Just watched a thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene's. Random. Let's see. Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to vacate Johnson. That did not go well. That didn't go well at all for her. Went well for the American people, but not for her. I don't like Mike Johnson. I think he's a religious nutcase. But to vacate the speaker at this time causes too much chaos. He's possibly evil incarnate, but stupid he is not. And they should not take him. Knows he has to stay in a position of power to accomplish those goals. So he can be basically manipulated and worked with to some extent. But he should never be underestimated. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a freaking moron who didn't bother to check to see if she even had the votes to get her resolution passed. I mean, most people lost my train of thought. Anyway, Marjorie Taylor Greene should have done a check on how much support she actually had, which was surprising. She got 48 people to vote with her. She didn't have the votes. She really thought the Democrats were going to back her up. You know, honestly, I don't think the Democrats voted to save Mike Johnson as much as they voted because they just don't like her. I mean, there's a possibility they voted to save Mike Johnson just to spite Marjorie. I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was one of the reasons they voted the way they did. I'm not sure who the 48 people were that voted with her, but I think they were all Republicans. There is a slim chance that's what happened here. That this was a vote just out of spite. But what's funny, I saw Trump's announcement after the vote, where he tried to take credit. But the way he tried to play both sides, I mean, he really is trying to play both sides. And he is trying to support Marjorie Taylor Greene, and also still calling for Mike Johnson's removal eventually, and still saying that he supported this vote to keep Mike Johnson in there. That man will not take a solid position on anything. Now, I do believe he wants to get rid of Mike Johnson because Mike Johnson played him like a fiddle, and he does not like that when people make him look like a fool, and he gets manipulated. Also, Mike Johnson did refer to Donald Trump as a hardened criminal. To his face. Well, not necessarily to his face. Trump was standing behind him when Mike Johnson said hardened criminal and pointed at him with his thumb behind him. I mean, yeah, they know that Trump is a criminal. That's what I'm saying. Mike Johnson isn't stupid. They know what Trump is. They can't stand the man. They play up only because the base likes him. That's it. That's the only reason they stick with this man. The base likes him, and that's that. My daughter is sending me text messages. She wants to go to Texas to see her boyfriend this summer. I keep trying to explain to her that that's not something we can do. Not this summer. We just don't have the money. We just bought a new car. That's you know, our car insurance doubled, and it's not going to be easy. And going to Texas is not cheap, not from here. To figure out something. I don't know what we can do here. Demanding to see this boy. There's a blue light. Let me move over. Resume. Hootie catch. That's why I'm always careful through this section. I always know they're waiting. Yeah. Well, that's enough about politics. I think I can move away from that for the moment. I might dip back into it a little bit, but I want to talk about two of my riders I had the other day. Two of my passengers. Excuse me. They were two young girls. I'm going to say, just estimating, I'd say they were probably 18, 19 years old, very young, first year college students, clearly. One of them was on the phone with her mom for like a few minutes, and her mom just, you're doing the typical first year away from home mom thing, which, just, yes, Mom, I'm doing that, that sort of thing. Well, then the girls start talking to each other. And at first, I thought they were talking in a foreign language until I really kind of listened, and I realized that they were talking in English. I just didn't understand the slang. Oh, dear God, did that make me feel old. I didn't understand their slang words and what they were. I'm just like, oh my God, I am out of touch. I have lost touch with the young people's new jargon. Nothing makes you feel older when you listen to young people talk and you realize you don't understand what in the world they're talking about. Oh, that makes you feel old, which is funny. But that was a fun little side trip there. Then I had three young men, obviously going to a event where they were at a hotel, I'm guessing a party of some kind. They had 3 things of Corona and more Axe body spray on them than I have smelled in about 20 years. Dear God, that was strong. But I hope they had a good time, that's all I can say. That was some strong smell in here. But that is one of the downfalls of running young people to their parties. As I've said, I don't usually stay late for the evening parties. I don't mind running them. I don't mind taking them to the party. I just don't want to pick them up after they're drunk off their butts. I don't need drunks in my car. The only drunk I'll let I really want my car would be my wife. And that's only when she decides to drink herself, which is very rare and very moderate. And she don't usually get to the point of drunk. She might get a little buzzed, but she don't drink anywhere near where she would be intoxicated. She's very controlled in her drinking when she does drink, and it's very usually one. If we go out to a fancy restaurant, she might get one cocktail or something or some type of drink if they have something interesting on the menu. Usually she won't even do that, but that's very rare. Now, I don't personally drink. I don't like the taste of alcohol. It's not a moral thing for me. I don't really care. I tried it when I was younger. I just couldn't get a taste for it. I mean, I never saw the reason why anybody even liked that stuff, to be honest. And also I have this general rule. I like remembering what I did. I'm funny that way. I like being able to get up the next morning and remember what I did the night before. That was like one of the guys I used to hang out with back in the day when I was in my 20s. He wanted to get drunk every time he went to a strip club. And it's like, why? As a young man, that is definitely the one experience you probably wanted to remember. Just saying. Just saying, I mean, all the different things to get wasted. And by the way, this guy didn't just like get a little buzzed. I mean, I never went with him to the strip clubs or anything else where he got wasted. I only went to a few comedy clubs with him, and he got pretty wasted on those. But this guy, he would get, we're talking fall down, pass out, blackout drunk. He got so drunk at one thing, it was just an hour for the night. And we all fell asleep and stuff. But he got so drunk, he put beer in the freezer for some weird reason. And it exploded. And it got our other buddy in trouble because we were at his mom and dad's house, and his mom and dad threw an absolute fit on him. And we didn't. Well, I didn't drink, but everybody else was drinking. I'm always the designated driver, which is annoying. I didn't. That's one of the things that made me not want to really deal with drunk people. But I just don't. No, I'm sorry, I ain't fooling with that. If they want to do that to themselves, that's their business. But don't expect me to sit there and hold your hand while you're puking or pull your hair back. I ain't doing it. The only person I'll do that for is my wife. interesting weather yesterday. I'm not sure about the forecast today. Right now we're looking at 64 degrees. It's rainy and cloudy. I think we're supposed to hit a high of 75 today, so it's going to be not too bad of weather. But there were some. They called for some tornadoes to touch down somewhere down from us. There's another cop up here, but I think he's just here to help these people with whatever they're doing. Yeah, they're just here to help these guys. Or are they impounding? Oh my God, they're impounding that big old truck? Or did he hit that fender? I don't know. It looked like they were impounding that truck. It looks like they were impounding it. I don't see why they would need that many cops there if they wouldn't taking that truck into custody. I mean, there was 5 cop cars there. I wonder if they caught something being smuggled. Well, anyway, there was supposed to be a tornado touchdown somewhere kind of close to here. It's not super close. It's down in Tennessee. But that's enough to get. Yeah, I'm getting the phone calls. I made a mistake yesterday and went onto Geico's website to get a quote for car insurance, and they sold my information to a whole bunch of freaking insurance providers, and they have been harassing the crap out of me all since then. This first call I got this morning, thank God, but I guess it's started. Okay, in 2 hours, I got 25 calls from different insurance companies, and they won't leave me alone. I won't answer the phone, but they keep calling and leaving voicemails. What they did is they sold my information to all these other companies. I'm not interested. I'm not. I don't want them to constantly call me on over and over and over again. And I finally got a quote from Geico, and it's $50 more than what I'm paying. So with State Farm, so I'm going to stay with State Farm. Apparently, Geico is super expensive. I mean, there's no point in switching if they ain't going to give me a better deal. Which they don't appear to be willing to give me a better deal. State Farm ain't all that great either. But they are a little less anyway, about $50. State Farm's actually managed to put my stuff in the way they're supposed to. I mean, it's been a mess. That's nice. At least I probably spoke too soon. Probably jinxed it. I have been looking at some different kind of cameras that could be connected to it that I might be able to use that will be something that I can put in here that will maybe not overheat my phone. But I don't know if it'll work with this software. I'm going to have to look into it. I wonder if I'm trying to use Prism Live, which I like Prism Live because it does give me some options, but I might need to look at OBS and see if they have how their mobile version works. It might actually be just as good, or it might have some more features this one don't. Now, OBS is open source software, and it does, and it's completely free. And it gives you all kinds of options on the computer. I've used both softwares. I do like Prism Live a little better on the computer for sure because it's a little more user-friendly as far as that goes. They both work pretty much the same way, but the interface is a little easier to use, a little friendlier on the user end on Prism than OBS. OBS can be a little more, you gotta know a little more to use it. You gotta have a little more tech savvy to use the OBS over the Prism. It can be a little more complicated. But OBS being open source, it's a lot more pliable as far as what you can do with it. Yeah, it's a lot more flexible. Whereas Prism is not quite as flexible, but like I said, it's a little more on the user friendly end of the spectrum, which can be good. It's a good thing. I mean, you can do a lot more with it, which is what you want to do. But I don't know. Now, I'm debating whether to go on up to the airport and try to run up from up there today, or just do. I think I'll go down here for the first part of the day in Blacksburg and run there. See how much the college kids are going to run this thing this morning. I don't know. Morning may not be as much. Well, then again, if classes have started, these kids are going to they ain't going to want to drive their cars. They'll ride. Believe it or not, they will use Lyft to go to class, especially the medical students. Medical students will come back from classes or from their pick them up at wherever they're doing their clinical studies. Which I can't blame them. You know, they usually are coming off an 18-hour shift doing that, and driving's probably not the best idea. So yeah, I can get that. I understand that. That's probably a smart thing to do. They probably shouldn't be hopping behind the wheel and driving, even if it is a mile and a half. Coming up to my exit here very soon. I might stop, swing by the mall and walk around a little bit just to get my steps in. I'm not doing. One downside of doing the Lyft and Uber is I don't get enough steps in the day. So I do have to start trying to work that into my routine so I can get out and walk around. But I do have to try to work that in. Definitely. But I'm hoping to get to where I can start getting priority on the airport. Now, if I can get that on the airport rides priority, which I have to get up to platinum level, which is not easy to do, but I'm working on it. It does tell you. It will tell you at certain times time blocks, and that would be the time to get there. That's when you're going to get the most offers. So I could go there, just go park in the Sam's Club parking lot and wait for an offer to come in. I think they have parking for Uber and Lyft drivers. Now, Lyft sent me a decal to put on. I am not putting that on. I laid it up in my dashboard, but I'm not going to stick it on my window. Now, if I can find something to put it in to hold it up there, I will. But I'm definitely not putting it on in any permanent way. Sorry, not doing that. Now, if I can find some sort of thing that can hold it, that I can take on and off, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't want anything on my vehicle that's permanent like that. I am looking at an LED light up thing that has both Uber and Lyft light ups that you can change back and forth depending which one you're running. Which I think I'll probably order that today. That would be something, but it's like suction cups. It goes up in the corner. You can take it on and off. Whereas the other thing, well, once it's on there, it's on there, and I don't like that. I don't like that idea at all. Now, some people, I don't know what's wrong with them. This guy's all over the place. A little early to be drinking. I don't know what the plan on this. I don't know what they're planning here. I can't really tell. He's panicking about the wall there. You can't. He can't judge his distance there from the look of it. That seems to be the issue. That sucks for him. But there we go. Let's resume. These little blue cars. Must be a popular brand coming up here. And that one's a little bit of a Smurf blue. La 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 la. Yes, I do remember the Smurfs. Yes, I am crazy. Thank you for watching. Oh my lord, my daughter just ordered something again. I got her a credit card. Well, it's actually my credit card, but I have her as an authorized user, and she has her own card. And which is where she gets her allowance when she does her chores. Or makes good grades. Either way, I'm happy with either scenario. But I also also I can monitor how she spends the money because it tells me when she uses it. had a pretty good run this morning. I was hoping to make it to at least 45 minutes, but it looks like 35 is about all I can handle before my phone gives out.